Coming up on Creating North of 55.
That's what another thing that makes someone a good creator is those connections where it's you are comfortable that you can hand a potential client off to someone else.
That's right.
When you think of quality video production, you don't think of us. This area is our oyster for people like us that want it. It's there. If you want it, you can have it.
Welcome to Creating North of 55 podcast. I'm your host, Mariah Braun of M3M Marketing. And today I have a special guest with me. I've got Kelsey with White Lightning Media here today. And he is a photographer, videographer, and a content creator in Grand Prairie, Alberta. And he has been in the game for 15 years. Kelsey, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah.
This is exciting for you too. Like I'm happy for you. I've seen your growth and it's awesome. So that's what it's all about. That's why we do it.
Yeah. And thank you so much for being one of my first guests. It really is meaningful. I've seen the hustle you've had out there in the community in our region and stuff, and I really admire it. So you're definitely one of those first people I wanted to get on the show. So
well, thanks for having me.
yeah, so we're going to talk collaboration today. But first, what we really want to do is kind of get to know Kelsey for people that might not know you. You're everywhere. You're unavoidable in Grand Prairie. What's your story? How'd you get into the industry?
It all started in 2009. I kind of grew up watching hunting shows. Saturday, like we didn't have like a wild TV. Where you could just like turn on a channel and it's all hunting shows all day long. So we had to wait till Saturday, Sunday to watch a couple shows. One of them was Hank Parker's Outdoor Magazine. The other one was Bill Jordan's Realtree. And then I would follow it up by watching trucks. And that was like pre-YouTube. That was where you went to learn how to do something to your vehicle. So I started watching those when I was a kid. And then kind of when I moved out on my own up to Grand Prairie, I was like, oh, I want a hunting show. I want my own. I want to be that. I've always wanted that. So started sending emails because email was it wasn't really strong. It was, but 2006, it really wasn't. So got out there and started sending these emails and not thinking I would get anything back. But one guy responded, was like, hey, yeah, you sound like an eager kid. Yeah, we could find something for you. Well, don't worry. And it was like back and forth. I was like, yeah, but I really want to do this. He's like, yeah, just, he had the most patience probably ever.
And you just sent an email?
Just an email.
It changed your life.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess that's kind of where it started. I guess I filmed some skateboarding in high school, on high eights, and I got some of my stuff got used in a friend's demo, and he kind of went from there with his skateboarding. But yeah, so I send this email, he responds, and we go back and forth, and he is like, I'm sure he's like, holy moly, this kid, just relax. I said, we'll do something, just relax. And I was like, but I really want to try. And so finally, it's like radio silence for a bit. And I get a message. Hey, I'm going to the Yukon. I need a cameraman. Can't pay you, but I'll teach you. I'm like, done. So I got a hold of my work at the time. And I was like, hey, I need this time off. They're like, yeah, no. And I'm like, cool. I'm going to have to look for a new job then. And they're like, okay, you can have the time off. So I ended up going up to the Yukon, and that was my first filming gig, was for a hunting TV show. And we were up there for Yukon moose, and it was an incredible trip. There was no shortage of adventure from that trip. From the drive up there, to the drive down, everything in between, running out of fuel, getting saved by a helicopter.
Dramatic.
That trip alone could be a podcast. And yeah, from there it was just, they had their own cameraman and their own editor. So they didn't really need me there full time. So I was kind of the ringer. So when he would be leaving the home area and going hunting somewhere else, he'd kind of call me and he'd say, hey, we're going here. Do you think you could come film? So that's kind of where it all started. And that was, Sony GL2 that was using tapes and built-in ND filters and your iris and trying to it was something else. I think back now of the cameras we use. And I think back now to that, and it's like, holy moly, I started filming tape.
It wasn't even that long ago, hey? And
Oh.
it's a different game when it's that, right?
Or like
Digital.
editing.
Yeah.
Like editing that, like, versus, popping in an SD card and taking that file. It's like snip, 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 we're done. You got to take, and the thing is, like, the crazy thing is, and if you ever want to sweat, like, get in a time machine, go back then and wonder if you hit record for when they took a kill shot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, and just be like, did I hit record? Because they don't let you rewind.
Yeah.
Because you could possibly record over it.
Oh my. Yeah.
So there's no reviewing your footage until you get back to the studio. So,
yikes, eh?
So that's kind of where it all started. And with those shows came product sponsorships for the shows. That's where their revenue comes from. And these sponsors want product photos and little product clips and all that. So, I mean, I kind of fell in love with that. And in 2016, I bought my first camera, which is a Sony A6000.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Those
actually,
little, they're
yeah,
kind of smaller, like almost like digital camera era.
So I got the A5500 first, actually. And I got home with it and I was like, yeah. And I taken it out of the box, and I must not have really looked at it when I was buying it, because you couldn't take the lens off. And I was like, well, this isn't going to work.
That's not exactly what we were going to
No.
here.
And that's like where the start of my learning journey was with that. So I went back, I got the A6000 and kind of started chasing it with that, taking pictures of families, and
unreal.
just kind of grew from there. And learned a few lessons along the way.
Of course, we always do, and we're still learning, right? Like you've been in it 15, I've been in it probably around like that, 5 to 6 range, and every day there's something to be learned, right?
I truly believe that if you think you know it all, that you're pretty much tapped out and you're done. Yeah. If you're not learning something new every day or at least every week, then, I mean, you taught me how to set my white balance a different way today, like something simple like that.
Yeah.
Like there's always more to learn. There has to be, because the speed that gear changes now is just wild. So you can't say you know it all.
Yeah. Even you've got like a different camera than me, same line of product, like Sony's, but then it's like totally different. And I know, like, from us doing a collaboration in the past, more recently, like, we were fiddling around with cameras and stuff like that, and you taught me some stuff. And that's the thing, there's always something to learn. And even if somebody's had like a traditional maybe path through like schooling and stuff like that, versus somebody who's gone and just watch YouTube, did their own learning, did it from experience. There's value in all of those things, right? And no one way is the right path for one individual person.
Absolutely. So. Absolutely. Everybody's story is different, and that's how we grow. And that's where the collaboration really comes in to play, is like you gotta really kind of put yourself out there sometimes, and you gotta just know when it's proper to put yourself out there for it. Because, someone might be headshots only, someone might be family only, someone might be product only, and they all use the same camera, but they're all going to use them different. They're going to use different lenses for each of those things. So I really believe that learning all these different ways is beneficial, because you can really learn how to use your camera. And I think that's the important thing here is learning how to use your camera and tell a story.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know myself, like, anytime I've collaborated, I learn so much, from being on my own set, directing myself on my own short films, to going to Edmonton and being on the set with like 20 other people. I'm the production manager. I'm like maybe the first AD too, because it's always like that on those indie sets. But like, I remember going there and doing like narrative work, and the spirit of collaboration is like, there's just so much learning from all these different avenues. And I think a lot of people maybe fear collaboration. Like, there's this thing out there about competition, and like, it's so cutthroat. Like some people might not even think, oh, White Lightning Media and M3M, they're not going to be friends. They're competition.
Yeah.
But
Well,
look at us now.
Bottom line is competition happens at the bottom and collaboration happens at the top, you know? And that's not to say you have to collaborate with everybody that crosses your path, right? They're like, people have different beliefs. People have different views in what a good video is. I think that there comes a time when, and it's something that I heard, and I completely agree with it, that you have to send that elevator back down and bring someone up with you. One of my favorite things now is to teach people stuff. When they're like shooting, when they're really into it, they want to learn more. You can kind of get that vibe from them that they just want to learn. They want to see how to tell their stories. Being able to like teach them how to do that is like, it's pretty cool. And it's not saying that like I'm washed up, I hope.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, just showing someone how to use their camera is a cool feeling when they come up to you. They're like, hey, I've got this. And it's like a Canon Rebel TI and it's like, okay, well, I mean, first of all, like, push this button that makes it a Sony.
Boom.
Yeah. But like showing them like, okay, well, here's how you get this look. And, I know what you're trying to achieve right now. It's going to be tough with this, but we can still do it because, you can adjust lighting. And when people are like, oh my gosh, check this out. Look what I did. Look at this.
Yeah.
It's like, right on. Like, I'm happy I was kind of part of your journey now. And you can, because that's how I started, right? I was sitting in the woods with a camera, like 19 years old. And I'm like, what am I doing? And there's like a big animal about to step out. And the guy's like, here, you just got to do this. And it was never like a yell at me. It was never like, you do it this way, do it this way, do it this way. It was just like, oh yeah, no, it's just adjust this really quick. And then if this happens, you do this or you monkey with this. And it's like, oh, okay.
Well, here we go.
Right. So. And that's the way to do it. You teach someone, you don't get mad at them and be like, what are you out of your mind? You don't know what you're doing?
Yeah.
It's like no.
There's all sorts of levels to this. And there's some people at different points than others. And yeah, that is the beauty. And like somebody went and taught you. Yeah. Somebody went and taught me. Right. And we should be giving back, in my opinion. It feels good to give back to people who are just starting out and looking for that guidance, that mentorship. Yeah. And, we're only, like you're one person, I'm one person. We cannot create all the content out there.
No, there's plenty for all of us to eat.
Plenty of work out there. And especially at the points where we're at, we get into things where like people will be like, oh yeah, do this. Could you do this like family video for me or this wedding or whatever? And I'm like, no, actually, but I can refer you to this person. Yeah. Or somebody asked me to go in a helicopter the other day. I was like, no, call Kelsey. I'm not going up in a helicopter and shooting. But he loves that stuff. So go call him. And we just kind of know those projects that we're into or whatever. And we don't mind passing it along to other people that we,
Yeah. And I think that's what another thing that makes someone a good creator is those connections where it's you are comfortable that you can hand a potential client off to someone else.
That's right. You can't do that to everyone.
No,
and you
absolutely
can't
not.
And on that note, you shouldn't collaborate with everyone either, right? Like there's certain values that maybe align or not. And if they align, probably maybe a collaboration could work. But if they don't, you want to be careful of that stuff.
Yeah,
right?
because when you are referring, it is an extension of who you are, right? It's like I respect Mariah. I respect what she does. I respect the work she puts in, the hustle. So I'm going to refer you to them. Then I know they are going to be happy, right?
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. You can't be out there just collaborating at every turn because it's going to bite you. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's going to bite you because some people want it, some people live it, and some people are like just buried in it. They eat, sleep, and breathe. And I would like to think I am in that group because I go to bed with my laptop. I'm, sending this, I'm touching this up, I'm editing this, I'm filing this. And then I wake up and it's like answer my emails really quick on the laptop, let the dog out, and then, close it, shower, into the studio, and I'm like at it, whether I'm shooting, filling out contracts, reaching out, and it's just, if you want it, you can have it. But wanting it is like, you gotta like take it. You can't be like, well, I'll do it every second Sunday, or I'll do it every, you know, it'll never be what it could be. And that's what I had to tell myself from full-time job, fracking, making that oil field money, to making that switch. I was like, it'll never be what it can be. I gotta go. And that first year I ate a lot of noodles.
Yeah.
Like I ate a lot of noodles.
It's sacrifice. You
And
have
it's
to.
and it's scary, but that's the steps you need to take.
What point was it that you said to yourself, this doesn't make sense for me to be working a full-time job?
So I was sitting in the basement suite, and I was at it's like a 110-year-old desk that's been in my family for years. I had a laptop, a Windows laptop. It was like not enough power in it to edit a 1-minute video. Like, it wanted to have a meltdown.
Yeah, like the RAM just was
there.
there.
It was not there. It was like crying. It was a whole thing. I was sitting there, and I just started getting calls. Like, it was middle of COVID. Nobody had a marketing budget.
Of course. Never
Business
do.
and I mean, it was even worse then, right? Because it's like, why are we going to market and we're closed?
That makes sense. Yeah.
So everybody was closed, and I just thought, there's a space where people need help right now, and if I want to make this, I gotta like take this opportunity. So I went out and I created these little videos. They're called Keep It Local. I sold 10-second slots in a 1-minute video. 6 businesses, obviously, if you do the math. And I sold it for like $75 a slot. I think it was 75 or 100. I just went in, and it was just like a simple, like, outside, push through the building, someone waving, or like a product, right?
A formula.
And that was it, right? And their logo would pop up, and it was these quick little edits that provided so much value to our community that was like so hurt, right? Yeah. Like it was tough. It was tough to do anything. So I put that together, and I think that really got my name out there. And once it kind of started to let up, I was sitting in the basement suite, and I was like, I gotta just do it. Yeah. I've got to do it. It was, 4 years ago, 2 weeks from now, it'll be my 4 years. So
congrats.
It's been something. Yeah. And yeah, I was like, I'm going to do it. So I gave my notice, and they were like, hey, we'll have you back anytime. You know what you're trying to do. Congratulations on that. And good luck.
Wow.
I just did it. And
good for you.
Like,
I spent so much time doing it as a side hustle. Like you said, like eventually it just gets to the point where you're like, I need to actually make a go of this and like try and reach my goals and my dreams and those kind of things, right? Like it just stops making sense, and you're just running around like trying to make everyone happy. And
like the burnout happens that much quicker because you're like 9 to 5 in.
Yeah. For
me, I was 15 and 6. So, I take 2 days to turn around because it was days to nights, and then you get all your chores done, and it's like it leaves you like a day and a half to try and create. And you can do it, but it's gonna suck a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just, in my opinion, you take that leap.
Yeah.
And it'll be so much more than you can ever imagine. And surrounding yourself with the right people. Yeah. When you make that switch is huge. Huge.
So critical. Yeah. Like I could not even sit down basically. Like I went full time in like October of 2022, and I was like, woohoo, I made the leap. It was a year planned kind of thing, not like, oh, I'm just going to quit kind of thing. You're very brave. But, I did that. And then, in December, I just got this itch. I was like, I was in my little 214 place office that I rented off of a friend of mine and his business. And I was trying to do this little voiceover for this commercial, and I'm not really a voiceover artist, but I was like, oh, just give this a try, right? And, you can't control the air conditioning. You can't control the environment around you. It's noisy. And it's like, okay, studio. It's like, yeah, I'm just like 3 months into my, big leap, but why not? I guess
Yeah.
I'm building a studio, and
Yeah.
here we are today. We're sitting right here and the podcast. Yeah.
I mean, you laugh, but I look at it as like the cliff jumping mentality. Like when I grew up in Vernon, cliff jumping, it was like the longer you stand up there, the higher it gets.
Yeah.
So it's like I just told myself, I was like, I got to do it. And the worst that's going to happen is it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
I mean, I've got jobs before. I can do it again. But now I don't even look back. Like if it all failed tomorrow, I'd be doing it again in a week.
Yeah, totally. And that's what I go back to too, is like, okay, if I fail here, I guess I could get a job. We got skills that are in demand, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just, that's the bottom line. It's like, you just got to go for it, right? And yeah.
You don't think you could take another stab at like the marketing, like after everything you've learned from starting it? You don't think you could, within like a week, turn it around and start at a different starting point and just go right back into it?
Like into a job?
No, into working for yourself.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Like once you fail, like there's a lot, like there'd be a lot to take care of if you failed. But I would do it over again. Like say if I sold this off,
Yeah.
sold M3M, and then, maybe I do it in a different capacity. I think it wouldn't be like agency life, maybe.
Yeah.
It would be something else. And,
Yeah.
that's my retirement plan. It's right here.
Yeah.
I won't say it out loud for right now.
No.
But yeah.
I honestly, I'm the same way, it's been good. I've learned so much, and there's things I would do different to start out. But if it failed, I know that within a couple weeks, I would just start back into it. Creatively, like it's not my storytelling that failed. It's not my pictures, it's not my video that failed, right? And the business would have failed. So I could take that and I could apply it, I think, and I could get right back into it. And better because I went through all the headache up until now. So I could essentially, I feel like I could skip that.
Totally right.
I think, I don't know. That's hypothetical. Nothing's happening to my business. It's fine.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, everything's great. Just saying.
You never know.
I've learned a lot.
Life has twists and turns, right? This podcast is all about creating north of the 55th parallel. So we have guests here who have either come, up this way or up north some way. And so I wanted to ask you, Kelsey, what do you think is different about creating in a northern, more rural community? We're still a medium-sized city here in Grand Prairie. We're not small town like some people like to say, but we're a medium-sized city. So what's the difference in your opinion?
When you think of quality video production, you don't think of us. This area is our oyster for people like us that want it. Mm-hmm. It's there. If you want it, you can have it. So I look at it like it's a beautiful area. We've got foothills, we've got mountains, we've got city, we've got urban, we've got rural, we've got farming, we've got everything you could ever want to shoot. I think that we are very strategically placed as creative business owners and creatives because you don't think of this. So there's still businesses in our city that will go to Toronto and go to Calgary and go to Edmonton for their video production because they don't know that really good stuff comes out of our city.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
That's kind of how I look at it up here, and that's kind of why I'm still here is because it's just getting started.
Yeah.
Like movie production is just moving into Alberta.
Yeah.
Wait until they find out what's up here.
Yeah, absolutely. Like HBO came up here, did like The Last of Us.
Last of Us, yeah.
Like it was cool because I got to be a production assistant.
Awesome. Of
I
course.
was born in that hospital.
See,
how could you that's so cool.
I look up to you and all that stuff because I got asked to go on a set and they're like, call time is this, and I'm like, so is that when I have to be there, or is that like what is call time? Like just and I actually had to get a guy to explain what call time is.
Yeah.
Like you talk about AD and I know what DP is, director of photography. but or DOP. I don't know.
DOP, yeah,
Depends on who you're talking
some
to.
people say DP, some
But
people
like,
say DOP. Yeah.
so it's like good for you. You were
Yeah.
in it, and I look up to you for that. I
Thank you.
definitely don't have that knowledge.
I mean, it's a whole nother world. Like, honestly, Kelsey, you'd pick it up so fast. And, you know, I just take like one little course in an afternoon and, you know, you do a number of courses and then you can be on sets like that.
Yeah.
It's really nothing that isn't attainable. It's just getting access to the thing.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big difference up where we're at, is that there's just less access to those things.
Yeah.
You go to Edmonton, there's like film networking events all the time, right? Yeah. Whereas, you know, we've got Prima here, you know, little group of people that are kind of trying to make some things happen. And then other than that, everyone's out in their own little corners. Yeah. That is how I like to explain it. And that's what the idea of this studio is, to bring people in, collaborate, those creative networking mixers and all those kind of things, is trying to bring people together so that we could start our own thing here, right? Yeah. So, yeah, that's the big difference about creating here, is just I would like to see more access to those kind of things, and that's what I'm trying to do here. And
you know, the more we put out and produce, I think we just get more eyes on us to have that show up to our area, right? Your studio is great. I've used it multiple times. I've got it booked currently. When groups like you and I partner up, we create something that I can't handle on my own, you can't handle on your own. And then all of a sudden it's two more people, and then we bring in this person to do this and this person to do this. Before you know it, we're making larger productions, right? So I think creating in the North is great for anyone starting out. I like it. I do enjoy the collaboration, especially that we've had, just building the business up here. I mean, we live in such an entrepreneurial city. Yeah. It's huge. It stands out. Like it's got to be one of the most entrepreneurial cities in Canada. Yeah. Yeah, you know? For sure. There's tons of people with great ideas here, and they go for it. They take the risk and they go for it, because it is a risk. Yeah. Just because you're entrepreneurial doesn't mean you're going to make it, right? Like, so it's really cool to feel that energy here, for sure. Yeah. And I know, like, our product content creation creative lab that we recently collaborated on, like, that was so much fun to just see people, you know, average people who might not even have any experience, be in a studio environment and be like, wow, this light makes the biggest difference. I could just take a photo with my cell phone, or I don't need the fancy stuff. No, and that's like, I kind of, when I get linked up with clients, I work with them depending on the where they're at, you know, like if it's a product, I like to show them that in between me coming out, there is a way that you can continue on, because creatives like us, we are expensive. Like we're not cheap. So I think what makes us stand out is providing some value back. Absolutely. Rather than just the product that we provide. So showing people how to use their phones is important. In that creative lab, it was awesome to see people's faces light up, and they're like, whoa, you know, and it's like, oh, I don't know. It's okay. Well, you buy that at a garage sale, or you can go down to the thrift store and you can get this. Yeah, this little bounce that you can get at the dollar store. Yeah, like, you know, it's a piece of paper. It's a piece of cardboard. It's whatever. Yeah, it was so much fun, like, just, you know, creating the different, like, sets for the different products. And, like you said, people just lit up, really. And we're trying to get people used to the studio environment here and that sort of thing. And that definitely contributes. So hopefully we can do something like that in the future. It might be a different thing, but who knows? Okay, so wrapping up a little bit here, I would say, what is your advice to maybe new photographers, videographers, content creators? Like, is there something that you've learned in the last little while that you can give folks something to take away? I don't know the nicest way to say it. Be nice. Be gentle. It's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work. And if it was easy, everybody would do it. And you see People try to do it, and then all of a sudden you don't see them. And it takes a lot of like minding your own business for a while and paying attention to what you're doing. Don't necessarily look at, I'm not going to look at M3M and be like, oh my gosh, look at that. That's so good. I'm not there. I'll never be there. I can't do that. It's okay to look at other people for inspiration, but don't look at them and think that's where I need to be, right? You need to be where you are right now, and then just keep working.
Yeah.
Keep pushing, keep working. Take the picture, take the video, post your work, share it, because you'll never get the opportunity to collaborate if you're quietly doing it by yourself.
Yeah, and it's not always like sexy, right?
No.
Like taking out people's breaths out of cutting stuff, or like, the hours and hours, like, oh yeah, it's a 2-minute video, but
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The hours and hours. The hours and hours. Listen, that great point. The hours and hours. Look, when you start, you work on your client's schedule. You shoot for them. When do people want their shoots done? During the day. So when do you get to edit?
At night.
During the night. So when do you sleep?
Never.
When you walk to the fridge to get a drink of water. That's when you have a quick nap and you get back into it. Like, it was, honestly, I was shooting all day and editing till 4 a.m. And like months and months and months and months. Sometimes I would edit till 7 and then like hour nap and then back shooting. Wow. Like, it's a lot of work. And anybody that says it's easy, I don't think they're doing what we're doing.
No, definitely not. And clients have all sorts of different demands, and you've got a life too. I think that would be my advice. I mean, I'm probably going to give lots throughout the many podcast episodes we're going to do, but yeah, you got to balance your life too.
Absolutely.
Because burnout, I think you mentioned it earlier, like it just happens very easily, especially this kind of work. And like, with video work, you have to be like really into it. You can't be doing other stuff while you're editing stuff. Like, photographers, like if you're editing some photos, maybe you can have some gems and those kind of things. But like, it's
video, you listen to the same song over and over. Actually, not even the whole song. You listen to this part of it over and 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 then over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's so much, and burnout happens because it's all mental and emotional, right? That's what you're putting into a video. You're telling a story, so you're emotionally into it. And when you get a story to tell, and someone wants it in 30 seconds, it takes a lot. And then you've got you've got the emotion for this video that you're working on and the emotions for this video that you're working on.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So you can burn out really easily, and eventually like it'll hit you, and it's like a flu, and you got to just like sit there for a week and just like nothing. And you're there with your thoughts, and you're like, okay, I feel better now. I can get back into this. And then you push through again. Like it's a lot.
Totally.
But I don't want to scare anyone from doing it, because creating is so amazing to be able to do that. So amazing to be able to share things and share people's stories. So
it's so beautiful to be able to share that human experience with people. And that's really what it comes down to. And yeah, there's so many different realms you can go in. And like for you, like I really admire you, because you're going out and you're doing all the content creation, and then you're editing the stuff. And whereas like with the agency, we've got video production projects, but we've got design projects. And so I get some glimpses of escape a little bit. You're in the trenches every single day. And so bravo. That's really, really tough.
It's almost late because I was editing today. Right?
Almost late.
Yeah. So, no, it's been great. I appreciate that. And yeah, some days you come up for air and you're like, holy crap, I've done all that.
Yeah.
And that's where like some of my videos, my highlight reels come from, is like, this is 3 months. I did this. I mean, I did a little video about what happened in a week. And it was like agriculture, sports, rodeo. Like it was like all in a week. So I love it. I'm not done.
Yeah, no.
No.
Not yet.
Not even close.
But you get to decide when that is and if and when, right?
Yeah.
So that's the beautiful part of it. And yeah, like sharing that human experience and sharing moments, sharing our community, right? Like we're from this area. We know this community. And I think that's what some businesses forget when they're going for their video production buys is, maybe the people right here are the best ones to tell that story.
1,000,000%. Keep it local.
Yeah, keep it local.
You
Come
know,
on,
there's
we support
nobody.
you.
We've been here. I've been here since 2006. So who better to tell the story about the trades, the oil field, the wilderness, the adventure, the city? Like someone here.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be me, but someone here.
There's definitely value to it.
Yeah.
Like you should consider that. If you've got a project upcoming, consider that. We're not saying automatically come see us.
Yeah.
But at least consider it, okay?
Yeah. We're kind of cool.
We're a little bit. We're a little fun. And we had so many conversations offline. I just thought it'd be a great fit for you to be on the podcast. So thank you so much for coming on the pod. And coming
It went well.
Oh, I think so.
You did great.
Did we do okay?
Congratulations. This is awesome.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. Follow us on the socials, and we'll see you next time.